guys, how's it going? Check out this awesome photograph taken by the one and only Svetlana, my future mother-in-law. Isn't it beautiful? I think it's somewhere in Colorado. I'm Christine and I love country music. In my country music journey, I've always just chased the music that sounds good to me. And at some point I realized that 99% of the music I listen to on a regular basis comes from white males. Is that a bad thing? Am I being closed-minded? I don't know. But this is the reality, and I'm proud to say that I'm actually, like, one of my goals this year is to listen to more female artists. So I'm working on that. This is gonna be like a little walking tour of 40 male country singers that have resonated with me or connected with me on a personal level at some point in my life. I'll also list my favorite song by each artist below as I'm talking about them, so that's fun. I would argue that these artists are actually super different and super diverse in how they present themselves in terms of their personality, their sound, and just like who they are as a person. Like, I do not see them as like this homogenous blob of like southern white dudes at all. Like, I see it as this very beautiful, colorful, diverse quilt of what makes up American country music today. And a couple caveats, I do have 2 duos in there, so there's actually like 42 guys, but whatever. I did not include bands, so any musical group with like 3 or more people, I did not include in here. That's probably going to be a future video. I also focus primarily on modern country music in the 21st century, specifically the current decade in the past 5 to 10 years. So you'll notice that I don't have a lot of the classic traditional like 20th century artists. Like, I don't have Willie Nelson or Alan Jackson or George Strait, Merle Haggard, Garth Brooks, Toby Keith. I know, I'm sorry about that. Those were the good old days back when country music used to sound good, and now it's all popified. But anyways, this is all the popified stuff. Let's jump in. So the first category of artists is what I would consider Nashville Pop royalty. So if you know anything about country music, you've definitely heard of them. They're the ones winning all of the CMA, ACM awards, or even presenting the awards. They're the ones selling out stadiums and hosting shows, and they've just been around for a while and you know them. Blake Shelton is that friendly uncle who's always been there for you. He's had so many big hits over the years, and I really like his use of wordplay in his songs. And this song was actually one that originally got me into country music back in like middle school. Brad Paisley is just a really nice, friendly dude with really fun songs, and he's an excellent guitarist and an amazing CMA host with Carrie Underwood. Chris Stapleton is definitely in my top 3 artists of all time. He has such a rich, deep, resonant voice, and his songs are really slow and bluesy. He kind of looks like Hagrid, and I just love him very much. I wrote a whole blog article about him. Dierks Bentley. First of all, I gotta say, he looks amazing in that photo. He was actually my very first country concert, and I think he has a really fun, diverse range of songs, ranging from party, debauchery, to deep and heartfelt. Eric Church, definitely also one of my top artists of all time. He's my #1, like, who I want to see in concert right now, and I don't actually know what his eyes look like because I've never seen him, but I love his voice and his lyrics and his storytelling. Florida Georgia Line, the reigning kings of bro country, also known as hip hop. To me, they're kind of like candy, really sweet and addicting, but only good for you in small doses. Jason Aldean, you know, he doesn't really have a super standout or interesting personality to me or stage presence, but his concerts are just so fun, and he has so many great catchy songs. Keith Urban is kind of that crazy Australian uncle. I think he has an amazing stage presence and energy. He's an excellent performer, but his songs are kind of mediocre. However, I do think that he and Nicole Kidman are #power couple. Kenny Chesney just has so many fun, classic songs that are timeless. And he's kind of created his own brand of like island, beach, Caribbean country, which is super fun. and he's the artist that I've probably seen in concert the most, and the line dance to this song is really fun. Luke Bryan is the other reigning king of bro country party songs, along with Florida Georgia Line. You know, he loves to wear those tight skinny jeans and sing about pickup trucks. And once again, very catchy and fun, but only in small doses. Randy Houser is, to me, a new addition to this category as of his newest album, Magnolia, which I did a whole video on, so go check it out. He just has a really deep, powerful, resonant voice. Tim McGraw is another one of those classic guys who's been around for forever, who everyone loves, and you know you've made it when Taylor Swift writes a song about you. The second category of artists I would call lower tier Nashville Pop. So they're basically not yet considered royalty because maybe they haven't been around for long enough, they're still new to the scene, or they're just not as well known as the royalty tier, but they're still wildly successful and played on the radio. Brantley Gilbert. I gotta be honest, I love him very much. He's one of my guilty pleasures. I feel like he sounds great when I have a lot of testosterone in my system that I want to let out. He has this very rock, gritty, outlaw, bad boy vibe, but I have a theory that he's actually a really nice guy underneath. Rhett Eldredge. To me, he's just a very generic, vanilla, nice, friendly, neighborhood white guy who seems really wholesome and family friendly. Brothers Osborne. I think they stand out musically from the rest of this group because they have a more authentic, traditional sound that kind of incorporates elements of rock and blues, and I think it sounds really good. Chris Young. I don't find that his songs are very sophisticated in terms of their lyrical content, but I do think that they're very bold, catchy, and melodic. Swindell. To me, he has a lot of fun bro country songs that sound kind of similar, but sometimes he attempts to be sentimental, but doesn't get quite there yet, if you know what I mean. But overall, I do find him very wholesome and family friendly. Dustin Lynch is like a nice, wholesome, church-going boy with some edge. He has a lot of very simple, similar sounding songs that are just always being played on the radio. Jake Owen. I kind of get this fun, bro-y, beachy party vibe from him, maybe because he has this song called Beachin'. But overall, very fun, catchy songs. I remember when he cut his hair a few years ago and everyone was like, oh my god. Pardi, I don't know which one it is. Great photo, by the way. I think he does a really excellent modern take of the traditional classic country sound. There is a cover of me doing his song Up All Night floating somewhere out there on the internet. Justin Moore. I wish I had more to say, but all I can say is that he, to me, is just another generic vanilla white guy. Kip Moore. You know, I really like his sound. It's kind of different. It stands out because it's darker and more resonant and echoey than the rest of the stuff you hear on the radio. Brice. This song is just so fun to sing along to. Anyways, I think it's really interesting that his songs range from crazy, wild, debaucherous cowboy parking lot party to deep and heartfelt Boy. Luke Combs is kind of the new guy on the scene. He suddenly became really popular, and I think it's funny how it looks like he just was at a bar watching a baseball game and just walked into the CMAs. Morgan Wallen is kind of the other new guy on the scene that I think he first came out with Up Down featuring Florida Georgia Line. His songs are pretty basic, fun party songs, but I heard a cover he did of Cover You Up by Jason Isbell on YouTube, and it's so good, and it just completely changed my perspective of him. Sam Hunt. I feel like he really appeals to teenagers and the youth. He resonates more with a younger generation. He's a little bit controversial because it's like, is he country? Like what? I don't know. Does it matter? I personally do not think he sounds country at all. I don't think he should be classified as country, but I do think he has a very interesting sound, and I think it's cool what he does with like the talk rapping or whatever. So yeah. Thomas Rhett. I gotta be honest, his songs are a little too much on the pop side for me, and I'm not as into him. But I think he has a really cute, like, family story, and I love how authentic he is, and like kind of puts his life into his songs. Tyler Farr, I associate with like wild party songs. He kind of has this like sleazy cowboy aesthetic. I could totally imagine like Confederate flags and like trucks at his concerts, but I like the song a lot. So this is where things start to get fun. The third category is Texas country. I'd actually love to do a whole video on like Texas versus Nashville country because I think it's really interesting. But long story short, Texas country has a more traditional, authentic sound. It uses more traditional instruments such as the fiddle, and I would say it has a more like gritty, rough, unpolished, red dirt sound, whereas Nashville has a more like polished, shiny sound to appeal to the masses. Cody Johnson, I do really like his traditional sound. He's getting really popular right now, and I think he's just what Nashville needs, so I'm glad he's here. Cody Jinks, the other CJ. I think he's like Cody Johnson's evil alter ego because his songs are like completely different. They're very dark and ominous and gritty and outlaw, and I really like his sound. I love all of his songs. James McMurtry. I feel like this is the first one on here that probably a lot of people haven't heard of, but I love his outlaw sound, and his songs are very dark, slow, and sad, which is my favorite, and I think he has really excellent storytelling. Parker McCollum, he's an artist that I recently discovered, and I just really liked the sound of every single one of his songs. I feel like he has really deep, meaningful, heartfelt lyrics. Riley Green, I think he has a really excellent voice. It's like very rough and deep and full. I feel like he's the most like Nashville of the Texas country singers, but I think he just sounds excellent. I would say though that his songs kind of all sound the same. William Clark Green. Of course, since I am a weirdo who likes slow, sad songs, I picked one song by him that like doesn't really match the rest of his repertoire, but I love his sound with like very classic melodic structures. And I actually went on a hike by myself up a mountain. I didn't climb Mount Shasta itself, but like a mountain right next to it, but I just listened to like William Clark Green the whole time. So now listening to him just reminds me of like ascending this mountain in the wilderness, and it was just so beautiful. So the fourth and final category of artists I would like to call the outlaw alternative country artists. Sometimes I hear Americana because that's kind of this like catch-all category for anything that doesn't fall strictly within like country or folk or bluegrass. And I'd love to do another video sometime on like what is Americana. Anyways, this category is where all the good, fun stuff lives. Colter Wall. Wow, I love his sound. His songs are so dark and slow and sad, and there's lots of like wilderness imagery and lots of like cattle grazing. He's actually Canadian, and I've heard him described as a young man with an old voice. He's only 23, but he sounds like he's at least 60. His voice is so deep and so full of wisdom. And the music video for this song is actually amazing. Jason Isbell. I feel like he's a music critic's favorite as well as everyone else in this category. He has a very like sophisticated sound. He's part of the drive-by truckers. He seems like a very like sensitive, beautiful soul. I kind of have like a friend crush on him. Like I want to be friends with him. Him and Amanda Shires are like the other #dream couple goals, and yeah, he's from Alabama, in case you were curious. Ruston Kelly. I feel like he's more well known for being Casey Musgrave's husband, but I actually like him and enjoy him separately as an artist. I really love the vibe of his songs. They're very slow, sad, dark, and acoustic, just like very beautiful storytelling. And yeah, I'm really excited to see what music he comes out with. Sturgill Simpson. I feel like he is actually very well known amongst people who don't even like country music. I describe him as like outlaw, psychedelic country. He's really weird, but I really like it. Tyler Childers. I think he is one of my favorite artists of all time, along with Eric Church and Chris Stapleton. He is from Appalachia, so his songs have a really deep sense of place, and I just love his sound. He has lots of nature imagery, and the songs and the lyrics just are so deep and so powerful and so beautiful. Wheeler Walker Jr. I decided to throw him on here, not because I would actively consider myself a fan of his, but I kind of appreciate what he's doing. I appreciate that he's kind of pushing the boundaries of what is acceptable in music. I actually picked like the least profane of all his songs. Alright guys, congratulations, you made it to the end of the video. Thanks so much for watching. I'm curious to learn like, who do you think I'm missing? Like, let me know who you expected to be on this list but wasn't, and I will definitely check them out. Also let me know who you were like surprised to see that I included on here.